welcome to Draft Day, where funny things already happened, where for whatever reason my computer kicked me out of the room, and that messes up the way we had everything set up. So it had to be switched. And during a video, you don't know who's where. So it's fun to figure it out live, and you look like a big ass. Yeah, I looked like a big ass. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But welcome, everyone, to not only episode 21 of the Chris podcast, but the first ever draft of the Chris Perish podcast. I am alongside both with the creator of Turnbuckle Studios and the host of Turnbuckle Talk, the Golden Standard, Karl Karufel, and the guy that you probably watched last night with Saturday Night Gaming as he finished Uncharted 3, looking to start the quest of Uncharted 4, also doing the My Rise. He is Chris Best. Thank you guys for joining.
Oh, you're welcome.
You can't be remiss by thanking the sponsors, Rogue Energy. Thank you, Rogue Energy, for not only sponsoring the podcast, but also bringing out one of my all-time favorites, the Strawberry Banana, into your catalog. Because not only is it a little bit of all right, but it's oh so delicious. Make sure you're getting yourself a tub of that beautiful strawberry banana over at Rogue Energy. But wait, don't spend full price. Don't be a sexy fool. Use the promo code PERISH, PERISH, and save yourself 10%. Why? Because you deserve it. That's why. Now, we have a draft that we're going to do. People might want to ask, well, what the hell is the draft? And what are you guys doing? Well, we're drafting WWE people. As you see on the name bars, our name bars are selected to the brands that we're choosing. Karl Karufel will be choosing on behalf of Monday Night Raw. As it is, he is the lead voice to the Raw Patrol, so it's only fitting. We have Chris Best choosing for NXT. There is absolutely no rhyme or reason to why. He just had to have one. And I am with SmackDown. Actually, the reason why I took SmackDown is because I'm going to SmackDown in Edmonton this year, so I'm actually excited. That's kind of why.
Nice.
Now, I'm going to put over a thing of rules for this draft so people are with it. And here they are. Each brand must have one men and women's world champion, a mid-card, and a tag team champions by the end of round 4. What that means is the first 4 rounds, we will be choosing champions. And you must have one of each of the 4. So you cannot choose a second men's world champion. You can only have one. You don't have to pick them in any specific order. Just by the end of all 4 rounds, you must have one of each. That would leave out the women's world champion. So what that does, we are picking one women's tag team to compete in a fatal 4-way match with the Kabuki Warriors, who are not eligible for the draft. And at the end of this episode, throughout the week, the viewers, you will not only get to vote, you will dictate who wins that match. And then the winning brand will then attain the rights of the Kabuki Warriors.
Interesting.
Each team will draft 21 competitors in total. So that is 21 in-ring competitors, not including 2 commentators and 1 ring announcer, and you can only have a limit of 2 stables. So if you want to have 2 stables, make sure you're using wisely, because you do have a 21-person limit. We will be competing under a snake draft rule, which means whoever is picking first will then end up picking 6th and 7th. So, for example, if I was selecting first and the draft order was myself, Chris Best, Karl Karufel, after Karl Karufel's first selection, he will then go again and then it would be reversed back to Chris Best, then to me, and then I would continue the pattern. Once we do the we finish this draft, we will then talk a couple segments about just kind of what's been going on before we select a show. So we have an ample amount of time to pick a show. We will write down our show, and we will then allow the audience and the voters to pick. So on next week's episode of the Chris Perish podcast, you will find out who won the first ever Chris Perish podcast draft. Now, we have not selected a draft order yet, but what I did tell both these men is I'm going to be writing down a number. And I'm going to allow that person to pick a number, 1, 2, or 3. If they choose correctly, that is the number that they will pick for the draft. If they don't, the other person will have a chance to do so. And we will do that until somebody actually hits their pick. Are you guys ready?
No.
Yeah.
What did you say? What did you say there?
The whole thing?
No. Just that last part. You asked a question.
Are you ready? I can't
There
do
we
it that way
go.
because it's trademarked.
I know you can't do it that way, but you can put your own spin onto it.
No. Spinning makes me dizzy.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, Chris Best, I am going to start with you. What number is on my piece of paper? That is a great time to answer.
I froze up.
You know, if Kid Rock was here, he'd be like, "You got leg and know how to use it."
Yeah.
That's best.
Sorry, I missed
have
everything.
A number written on my page. What number is it?
I'm going to go with number 4.
It's only 1, 2, or 3, Best. You need to listen to the rules.
I didn't hear that part. So I'll go 2 then.
You were number 2. Which means you will be picking right in the middle of everything.
Oh.
Now, Karl.
Yes.
We're now off to the great start. I am selecting a number. And if you get this wrong, you will get the opposite number, and I will get the number selected on this page. What number is on my page?
Well, process of elimination. Let's think about this for a minute. You're the one that's written down the numbers, so I figure you're going to think that I would choose number 1 because RAW is the number 1 show that is on network television as of now. But you know that I'm too smart for that, so you would definitely make sure that you choose it as number 3, because if number 3, you know that I'm going to pick that. This is so dizzying. Yes, I understand that. I'm going to go with number 3.
I have number 1. This is a giving podcast. I literally wrote down number 1 thinking, oh yeah, same thing, Raw, number 1 show. You know, Raw Patrol. All the way, which you can catch on Turnbuckle Studios every Monday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, where the Raw Patrol surveys the wrestling scene every Monday night. All right. I am going to write these picks down because I'm well organized and a commissioner in many fantasy football leagues, so it's just my thing.
Understand.
With the first overall pick, I select Cody Rhodes. It's just too obvious.
Yeah.
Chris Best, you are now up. I don't have a sound because I did not know how to do that, and I forgot to ask.
You don't have like a 4-minute timer in the corner.
I do have this.
All right. For my pick, I'm gonna go with why not? I'm gonna pick Damian Priest.
All right. The man who's number 2 went with a little DP. That is nice. Karl Karufel, not only do you get this pick, you get the next pick after that. So back-to-back picks. Who are you selecting?
Well, I guess I have to, by default, I'm going to have to take the last world champion because by round 4, we need a world champion, right? So it's going to have to be Trick Williams.
But you also don't have to select them here. You can jumpstart and take the first tag champion, the first women's champion, the first mid-card champion.
Okay, so I know I was just kind of making sure that was still like something that would have to be picked because, I mean, by default, I have to have that person.
Yeah, but you don't. Yeah, that's the thing. You don't have to. You can take them out. The beauty of this is on your last pick of 4, round 4, you can do that. That way you can catapult and start and take a strong competitor in another division if you wanted to.
Okay. No, totally understandable. I appreciate that. I appreciate the understanding there. Let's go Awesome Truth.
All right. That is what's up.
I kind of had a feeling you were going to pick R-Truth there, Karl.
Oh, I love Truth.
And now, Karl, because of the snake draft, you start off this way, and then we will go you, Chris Best, then myself.
Okay, sounds good. So we've got Awesome Truth on our brand right now, which is absolutely fantastic. So why don't we add someone else who is very fantastic? And let's add Bailey.
Everyone's Bailey. I don't know the rest. Chris Best, it is now on to you with your second pick. Also, might I add, if you guys during this case want to thank your draft party, wherever it may be, it's a thing. And you can do that. I would like to thank the Memphis party, which is my official draft party.
I'm going to go ahead and pick my tag team champions, and I'm going to select A-Town Down.
A-Town Down Under.
Yeah, that's...
Now by that means I get the NXT Tag Team Champion. So that is good to know. I mean, I'm just going to go with the future here. I'm going to go with the NXT Women's Champion. I'm going to go some Roxanne Perez right now for my pick. And then with my third pick, which I'm starting with back on this snake draft. Ooh, this is a good one. I could be a little influenced by my pick. I could be sticking with the Canadian here. Or I could go with the big, tall brute in NXT. And I think I got to go with my heart. I got to go with the man that defeated the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. I'm going to go with Sami Zayn.
Nice.
Then, Chris Best, that is now back to you.
Okay, so I'm going to get this out of the way right now because she's now the only women's champion that's left. I'm going to pick Becky Lynch.
All right. And now, Karl, you have a chance on Obviously, one of your picks has to be Trick Williams.
Yes.
And on these back-to-backs. You don't have to do it in this one, but you are in need of a mid-card champion now, which would
Correct.
give you Logan Paul or Obafemi.
So Trick Williams, yes, we'll take that right now, get that done out of the way because it has to be anyways. And we are going to go with the man known as Logan Paul, the United States champion.
All right. And to kind of close this out best, you are forced to take Obafemi.
Yep. I will gladly take him.
Which means I get the NXT Tag Team Champions of Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Now, we're on the fifth one. This now is our women's tag team that we must pick. So this is the match, the Fatal Four-Way, who will go on to face the Kabuki Warriors. Now, I'm in a very interesting battle here because I can go off the map and select the number one contenders at Backlash for this women's tag team champion. But I'm not. I am not because I need this person on my team because she is just too damn entertaining. I got to pick the one, the only Chelsea Green and Piper Niven.
I knew you were going to go that way.
I was really not sure yet. I had another one in play. Now this goes to Chris Best. Who do you have for your women's tag team?
Okay, so this is actually one that I've also been mulling around in my head, and it took until late last night for me to settle on it, but I've got to go with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. I think I would promote them as these two tough women, almost APA-like, just have them coming out, kicking everybody's ass, and then build them to that number one contendership.
Karl, to complete the first match, Fatal Four-Way match for the women's tag team titles. We have the Kabuki Warriors defending their tag team titles against Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, Piper Niven, and Chelsea Green. And who?
I got to go with my girl, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell.
That is not at all who we thought you were going to pick, Karl.
You got to play things smart. You got to play things smart.
We literally
thought. That don't know. We were told during this draft here that if we choose who we choose as a tag team in the women's side cannot be used as singles competitors as well. So you gotta really think about this stuff, and you got to choose wisely.
And you can. And we did talk about this too. We are able to use a in-ring competitor in commentary if they have done it before. But again, they are no longer eligible for in-ring competition on your match card.
Right.
So you can have, like, say, Kevin Owens on your commentary team, but you cannot have him competing in a match on your match card. But now this is kind of the first time where we have an open-ended amount of people on our show. Now we don't have to select a certain category here, but we are in need of to complete a 21-person roster. So right now, we each have 7. So we're a third of the way there, but we still get 2 commentators and 1 ring announcer. Karl, because of the snake draft, you have the next pick.
I do. So now when we're picking the commentary team, do we pick both at the same time? Is that correct?
Nope, you pick one.
Only one.
You
Okay.
get 2 spots for commentator.
Okay, perfect. No, totally understandable then. So let's go with my ring announcer, Mike Rome.
That is not who I thought you were going to go with.
Me too.
Now, you have your ring announcer, and that is set. You get to strictly focus on ring commentators. Or so you got your ring announcer, you can focus on commentators, and the rest of your 14 people on your roster. Chris Best, you are now up.
Well, since Karl picked Mike Rome, I got to pick the best one out of the 3, and that's Samantha Irvin.
All right, you guys are blowing your load on that. I like it. Because this allows me to, because I know I got Alicia Taylor in the pocket. You guys played into a trap because if I want to, I can just take my commentary team with my back-to-back picks. And I'm going to do that by taking the GOAT, Michael Cole. And then to start off the next round, Pat McAfee.
Okay.
Now, Chris Best, this is back to you.
Okay, so I lagged out a bit. I missed who you picked for. I missed who you made for your picks there.
I chose my commentary team with the 2 picks. In the end, to complete round 6, I picked the GOAT, Michael Cole. And to start off round 7, I picked Pat McAfee.
Okay. Because I liked them together in NXT, I'm going to pick my commentary team of Vic Joseph and Wade Barrett.
Well, hold on. You missed the rules again, Chris. You can only pick one per round. The reason why I picked 2 is because I used 2 picks. So choose wisely. Do you freeze up again?
Sorry.
Are you with us?
Yeah, sorry. I realized that as soon as I said both names, I'm going to pick Wade Barrett.
Okay. So I know I missed my spot there. I should have said, I'm afraid I've got some bad news, but
you should have.
Also, speaking of Wade Barrett, he has publicly apologized for making a botch on SmackDown, saying that Carmelo Hayes was the first NXT roster pick. That was incorrect because Finn Balor did it in 2016.
Oh, yes.
He has gone on record to correct himself and apologize for his botch. So, Wade Barrett, good for you. Karl Karufel, you are now on the clock. You do get the back-to-back pick, so if you wanted to, you could do what I just did and then complete that commentary team of yours, or you could take some of the big hitters.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Complete that roster.
I'm not going to do my commentary team right now. I already have who I'm going to be using for my commentary team, but I'm not going to use them in my picks just yet because I want to capitalize on this situation, having back-to-back picks, and I'm going to take Alexa Bliss for my first pick. And for my next pick, let me take a look here. Who looks good to me right now?
Chris Best, as Karl Karufel is looking through his roster as he is again on the clock with his second pick, the one that starts off round 8, do you have a draft party that you would like to thank the people for attending to?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the Navi draft party, since he's chirping up a storm over there right now, being excited about my picks.
All right. I believe, Karl, is a pick in.
Yes, the pick is in. It
All
will
right.
be Jimmy Uso.
Ooh.
It's not a bad pick.
Doesn't go with the main event. Goes with the other one. Intriguing. Which means, Chris Best, you are now up.
Yeah, which means now I can pick the other half of my commentary team, and I'm just going to go with Vic Joseph.
There you go. All right. Now I get to complete round 8 and start off round number 9. And well, this is a steal of the draft. At round 8, I am going to complete my world title scene by choosing the longest reigning intercontinental champion of all time. I'm taking Gunther. And then I need to get somebody of importance in round 9. I am looking. I'm just going to take the Eradicator, Rhea Ripley.
Oh.
Yeah. Chris Best, you are now up.
Okay, so in looking at my world title scene, I've got to take a guy who's going to be a huge draw for me, and I'm going to take CM Punk.
Just getting a little cult of personality into your lineup, not a bad call. I am assuming, Karl, this is exactly what you were hoping for, because I had a feeling, I think I saw what you were trying to do here.
Oh, what do you think I was trying to do here?
I thought maybe you were trying to pick the Usos together to bring back the Usos as a tag team.
Hell no. Anybody got time for that? They decided that they want to be singles competitors. They can go and be singles competitors all they want. And I kind of like them better that way anyways.
All
So
right.
now,
Well,
yeah.
I'm just saying, you are now up with the back-to-back to end up round 9 and to start off round 10. Now, we are open on discussion here. We don't have to force the picks. But also, I do want to let you guys know that, Karl, you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 competitors right now. Chris Best, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. While I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 as well. So just to give you guys a little quick update on the progress.
Sounds good. I want to make sure that I get this next person onto my roster before anybody else takes them. And I'm going with Liv Morgan.
All right. And that completes round 9. We have round 10, and then after round 10, I will update everyone on just who we have.
All right. So to start out this next round, I'm going to go with the Canadian big man, Kevin Owens.
And you are using him as an in-ring competitor?
Correct.
Okay. Just to be confirmed. Because you still have your commentating team open. It is why I asked. Chris Best, the floor is now yours for your 10th round selection. But before we do, Karl, do you have a draft party that you would like to thank?
I don't. Nobody wanted to sponsor us, so
I thought you were going to do maybe a shameless plug.
I mean, there really is no plug except for Redbubble. You want to make sure that you're taking everything that you can and getting the best merchandise from Turnbuckle Studios. You got to check out karlkarufel.redbubble.com.
All right. Now, Best, back to you with the 10th round selection. Who does NXT select?
All right. So to even out my women's division a little bit and to give Becky Lynch her challenge, I'm going to go with Nia Jax.
Ooh.
She's not like most girls. Well, you guys are just handing me some heavy hitters right now. Because to close off the 10th, I got to go with another man that used to play professional football. In fact, he played professional football in the city I was born in. I got to pick the tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
Oh.
All right, and that completes the 10th round. So kind of to give it up, Karl, as your tag team champions, you have Awesome Truth, which comprises of The Miz and R-Truth. Your women's champion is Bayley. You have the NXT champion on Raw. Yes, that's a thing. The NXT champion is on Raw, and the NXT championship is a property of Monday Night Raw with Trick Williams. You have the United States champion in Logan Paul, and their team competing for the women's championships are Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. And these people, these fine people, will be announced to the ring by Mike Rome alongside Alexa Bliss, Jimmy Uso, Liv Morgan, and Kevin Owens. On NXT, it's led by the world's heavyweight champion, Damian Priest, the owners of the nicest tag team titles in WWE and in pro wrestling, if I'm saying so myself. You got A-Town Down Under, Grayson Waller, and Austin Theory. Becky Lynch is your women's world champion. Oba Femi, the North American champion. You got Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler as your representation in the women's fatal four-way. And they are being segregated to the ring by the beautiful, talented Samantha Irvin. Commentated by Wade Barrett and Vic Joseph, only to be struck by a cult of personality in CM Punk and squashed by Nia Jax. Whereas on SmackDown, we like to finish stories here with Cody Rhodes. We like to open new chapters with Roxanne Perez. We like to take you through chapters 1 to chapter done with the storytelling of Sami Zayn. We give you all the flash with Axiom and Nathan Frazier. And then in my representation for that women's four-way, we got Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. And they're being just announced to perfection by Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. Best pencil flip in the game, might I add. And then when you have to take things serious, we're hitting you hard with the Ring General Gunther, the Eradicator Rhea Ripley, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. That means I am up for round 11. And I'm just going to go back to my women's roster right now as I'm selecting Bianca Belair. You guys are leaving me, these people. I can't not take them. Chris Best, you are up.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna pick my first stable in this one. And I was gonna go with Judgment Day, but since you got Rhea Ripley, it's not gonna happen.
No.
So I'm gonna go with the Bloodline.
Well, Jimmy Uso is out.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
So he's no longer in the Bloodline. So yes, that means you got Tama Tonga,
Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman.
even though Heyman is part of the Bloodline, it really don't matter. He's not in the match, but yes. But it doesn't hurt to have the wise man speaking with the wisdom, the NXT faithful. Karl, you are now up with your back-to-back.
Oh,
And no, Paul does not count to the in-ring competitor side, so that's just almost a little guaranteed extra guy.
Okay. Good to know. Let me see here. You know what? Let me just get my commentary team out of the way, get that completed and finished. We're going to go with the Road Dogg, Brian James, in the first pick. And since it is back-to-back, and since this person is still listed as current on the WWE.com/superstars website, let's go with some Jerry the King Lawler.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That commentary team has absolute zero direction. And I'm totally loving it.
Right? Right?
If there's one phrase to sum up their ability to stay on track, I'm going to go with, oh, you didn't know? Now, Chris Best, it is back to you to select in your round 12, sorry.
Okay, so I'm trying to think of like other challengers to Becky Lynch, and I came up with Io Sky.
All right. Okay. I would be very hard pressed not to take this man. He is round 12, but my God, is he just talented. Freshly turned. Give me Chad Gable.
Ooh.
And then to really beef up the in-ring competition on round 13, I'm selecting Ilya Dragunov. Oh, yeah, we've come out to play.
Yeah.
Now, Chris Best, it is back to you. Chris Best. The man with the longest legs in the business.
For both.
Well, I know you're not taking the body donuts because it doesn't look very sunny, but you definitely are skipping. Can you please repeat that one more time for us?
Yeah, I will. I was looking at a gentleman who could very well compete for both the North American and World Heavyweight title, and I've got to go with Braun Breaker.
That is a very good pick. I'm sorry, Braun Breaker, but you're going back to NXT, bud. It's just not working out for you. Karl Karufel, you are up in rounds 13 and 14 with your picks.
Okay, so now when we pick a faction, let's say we pick a faction.
Yep.
And this faction has 3 members in it.
Yep.
Is that considered 3 separate like stars or?
Yeah. So 3 people are 3 stars. You can use them however you like, though.
Okay.
in the match card, where you can have one, say if it's 3 people, one could be a singles, and you can have a tag team, or you can go 3 singles, or you can do a 6, whatever the case may be. But yes, they all count as individual people. Just like in a tag team, you're counting your tag team as 2.
Okay. I don't know that I want to go that route then. I want to capitalize on the amount of people that there actually are.
You were going to take LWO, weren't you?
I was not, actually.
No?
No, I was thinking of a group that actually has 4 people in it, but I don't know that I want to take all 4 of those people individually. As a team, I definitely would, but individually, no. So instead, my next pick is going to be Ivy Nile.
All right. Now we've essentially broken up Alpha Academy, just so people are aware.
Yeah, definitely it has been. Yeah, because you had already taken, right?
Yeah.
And I would have taken that faction. 100% I would have taken that faction.
I know.
But unfortunately, you decided to take Chad Gable.
I had to take it when the time was there. It
Of
was too late.
Totally understandable. I get it. My next pick for the next round. You know what? I kind of have to take this person. He's been a staple within the WWE for a very, very long time. A guy who can just make things happen out of nowhere. Let's go, Randy Orton.
Yeah. Sometimes you feel guilty for choosing people like this so late, but it's just the way a draft goes sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
And all right. Now just after 15, the next, not this round, but the next round, I will update everybody on your people and just how many you have, just so you're aware. Chris Best, it is up to you.
Okay, so I'm going with just because I really want to see this match as I'm thinking about it, I'm going with the other Braun. I'm going to pick Braun Strowman. I want to see him and Obafemi go at it.
All right. Well, we have our women's tag team match. But do we have our men's? And that's where I'm unsure. So I'm just counting 1, 2, 3. All right, this is going to put me at 17 after my next 2 picks, but I'm going to do it to close off round 14. I'm taking DIY. And then to start off, number 15, I'm taking the Street Profits. Yeah.
Made me rethink my picks a little bit there, Perish.
Hey, I got my tag team match all set now for those men's titles, and it's gonna be a doozy.
Okay,
Chris,
so
it is up to you now.
Yeah, because you took one of the tag teams I was considering, so I'm going to go with the other one I was considering, the Creed brothers.
And it is official. That the Ivy Nile and Creed brother connection is no longer. So that is also being separated.
Yeah.
Karl, you will make the next pick and the one after, but after this, I will let everybody know where you're sitting on your next.
Thank you.
On your total amount of people.
Right. Right. And how many people are we supposed to have total?
21.
21. Okay.
If you'd like to know now before you make those next 2 picks, I can do that.
No, it's all good.
Okay.
It's all good.
It's all about
Since I
information.
do get back to back and you guys were choosing tag teams, maybe I will take a tag team of my own. Guys that have been within the WWE for a while now. Let's take the New Day.
All right, and I'm gonna just throw it out there. This doesn't count your total in-ring because he is not an in-ring competitor right now. But since you have Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, just like Paul Heyman is a free gratuity for the bloodline, but not in an in-ring role, you can use Big E for that same one.
Okay, gotcha. Cool.
Just to be fair.
Cool.
All right.
Understandable. I get it.
Right now on Karl for Monday Night Raw, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 total people. Chris Best, after 15 rounds, you have 2, 5, 6, 9. You have 16. While I, 2, 4, 6, 8. I have 17 due to that little stretch on tag teams that I made. So yeah, that is where we're sitting. Karl, you do have 6 more in-ring people to go. Best, I would give you 5, while I have 4.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And I still have to pick my ring announcer as well.
Oh, true.
But that will be my last pick.
Oh, this is difficult here. Oh, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. You know what? I was going to take these people anyways at some point. So let me just take them now. We're going to do the final testament. Yes, I understand that is comprised of 4 competitors and 1 manager. But I got
2
6
managers.
picks.
Yeah, Karl, that only counts as 3 people for you.
Are we so Scarlett is considered manager? She's not competitor?
She is a valet to Karrion Kross.
Okay.
You kind of get that one free. Unless you want to use that as a competitor, I'll allow that to be your decision.
Well, we haven't seen her compete in a while, so I guess we can just leave her as valet.
Yeah, but I'm allowed if you want to switch that. You do have the. It will have to be settled before the next pick.
I know. I if you guys are thinking that she's just valet, then I am perfectly okay with Scarlett being valet and not being used as in ring.
Yeah, I'm cool if you want to do either or.
Paul Ellering being manager.
Yeah, he is definitely not an active in ring.
No, definitely is not.
But
I'm okay with that. So that gives me the 3 guys: the Karrion Kross, Akam, and Rezar for the final testament, and another 3 picks available for me down the road. I appreciate that.
Yeah, because that would give you to 18, and Best, you are 16 right now.
Okay, so for my 17th competitor, and I'm really surprised Karl didn't pick him because I decided I wanted a little bit of comedy on my roster, so I'm going to go with Otis.
But I got truth, dude. I got truth.
Yeah, you can't really argue that logic there. Okay, so Otis is on NXT. This is a good little one. This is a good problem to have, but he's falling down, and you know what? I want to see him integrated into my Intercontinental picture scene right away. He just wrestled Cody Rhodes on SmackDown. Carmelo Hayes.
Okay.
As Chris Best, you're probably saying, damn.
Yeah, and now I have to move to my next NXT pick.
So that brings me to 18. Ooh, I am I'm a little bit unsure which direction I want to go. But I think okay. Ooh. I really don't know which I want to go to. I'm stuck. I'm stuck right now. But you know what? I have mommy. Let me have her dom.
All right.
Okay.
It's all about love. It's all about love.
That's right. That's right.
All right. I now have a 19, so I get 2 more people and Samantha Irvin. Or not Samantha Irvin, Alicia Taylor. So Chris Best, this is now up to you.
Well, since you picked Dom, and I realize that Judgment Day is still on the table, I'm going to pick Finn Balor.
Okay. Yeah, that's who I was kind of like, which one do I want to go? But, you know, there's just money in Dom and Rhea. I can't just let that be.
Yeah.
Plus, I also have Montez and Bianca right there, too. I mean, if they can't play, right? Come on. So, Carl, you are up with your back-to-back. You are sitting at 18 people. You have 3 left. And that will complete your draft after 3 people. Because you do have your ring announcers, your commentators, everything is there. You don't have to, but it is there.
You know what? I'm going to take somebody from NXT right now. Somebody that I've had my eye on for a very, very long time, who I think does not get the recognition they deserve. Joe Gacy.
I knew it. I knew you were going to go that way.
All right.
Guy's a stud, man.
Okay, is this?
He is.
Now you have 2 people left. Again, there's no you're not being forced to take 2 if you don't want to, but you do have the next pick.
Oh, jeez. Oh, let me scroll through here and take a look and see what I can find. You know what? Let's get a little bit of extra veteranism within my women's division to go alongside Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, and Ivy Nile. Let's throw in Valhalla.
Don't forget you have Bailey as well.
Yeah, I know. She's my women's champ. I need to have a good roster of women to go up against Bailey. You know what I'm saying?
No, that is very true. Chris Best, you are now up, and if I'm not mistaken, you are at 18, so you have 3 more people.
Okay. I can't quite remember, but has anyone picked Lyra Valkyria yet?
No, they have not.
I am going with her.
All right. All right. That is a good pick because I legit was going to grab her. Now, I am sitting at a beautiful 19. I have two more people to pick. As I'm going through all my, well, let's just add a little bit of yeet to SmackDown, shall we? Let's add some Jey Uso. I'm very shocked he's still on the board.
Yeah.
And then because I need some time to figure out who my 21 is, I'm picking Alicia Taylor.
Oh, nice. I mean, you kind of had to, anyways.
Okay.
Right? You did. I mean, you had like a couple people you could have chosen from, but
no, Alicia Taylor's solid. No,
Right.
I'm very happy with that. Yeah,
I mean, Shara Schreiber is good too.
I'm an Alicia Taylor person.
Gotcha.
Chris Best, it is up to you now. You have two more.
Okay, I'm actually really surprised that no one has picked this man yet, but I've got to go with Monday Night Rollins, Seth freaking Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
Karl, you look disappointed that I made that pick.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through once again, taking a look.
I thought about it, but I knew exactly if I had Rollins in my lineup, he's going straight in the championship reign, which is already a thing. What am I like? I don't know. There wasn't anything fresh for me to do with Seth Rollins, so I just had to pass him by. Also, might I add, he was the very first NXT champion, Seth freaking Rollins. But
Correct.
he won't be going after the NXT title on NXT because you have the world's heavyweight title. Also, the inaugural.
No, he'll be looking.
champion.
Yeah, he'll be looking to reclaim that gold.
Karl, it is up to you.
With one more pick.
Correct. This is your last pick. I guess really it's everyone's kind of. I think you just don't get to complete the back-to-back
Right.
here. So
see, I haven't been writing down everybody who's been picked. I'm breaking it down to a couple of people here. Jeez. Has anybody taken AJ Styles?
no, they have not.
Then I have.
All right.
Decision made.
And that is your group, Karl. Your team is now complete, and it is going to be announced by Mike Rome with your commentary team, the Road Dog, Jesse James, and the King, Jerry Lawler. Your NXT champion, Trick Williams. Your United States champion, Logan Paul. Your women's champion, Bailey Awesome Truth, are your Raw Tag Team Champions. So I guess it's the World Tag Team Champions. Alexa Bliss, Jimmy Uso, Liv Morgan, Kevin Owens, Ivy Nile, Randy Orton, The New Day, and Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. Final Testament in AOP and Karrion Kross, Joe Gacy, Von Holla, and the phenomenal AJ Styles. So you now have an opportunity to start booking your card kind of a little bit before everyone else. Now, Chris Best, you are up with your last pick.
Okay, so for my last pick, I'm going to go with the man who just finished up a feud with AJ Styles, and that is one LA Knight. Yeah.
Well, let me talk to you. Now, I have a very intriguing selection. Now, not only do I have one pick left, I believe I have one. Let me just double check my math. But before I do, I will now, Chris Best, your team, serenaded by Samantha Irvin, Wade Baird, Vic Joseph as your commentary team, world champion Damian Priest, your tag champions 8 Down Under, women's champion Becky Lynch, North American champion Oba Femi. You have CM Punk, you have Nia Jax, you have Tamatongo and Solo Sikoa, Io Sky, Braun Breaker, Braun Strowman, the Creed Brothers, Otis, Finn Balor, Lyra Valkyria, Seth freaking Rollins, and LA Knight. I believe that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That would be your 21. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20. So, yes, I am closing off 21 with Mr. Irrelevant by the draft standards. Thanks to the NFL for dubbing that. Now, it's not only necessarily irrelevant because Mr. Brock Purdy is one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL, also known as Mr. Irrelevant. So there are greatness with being the last pick. Perhaps being the last pick gets you a multi-million-dollar deal signed, which my last competitor has just done that to stay with the WWE, to extend his time, and that is the Scottish Warrior, Drew McIntyre. I didn't know if I wanted to go there, but I have an idea. So on SmackDown, Cody Rhodes will be headlining the blue brand with his world heavyweight champ or his world title. You have Roxanne Perez with that NXT Women's title, Sami Zayn with the Intercontinental title. Got Axiom and Frazier as the NXT Tag Team Champion. Piper Niven and Chelsea Green are going to be competing for those women's titles. And then we have Gunther, Rhea Ripley, Roman Reigns, Bianca Belair, Chad Gable, Ilya Dragunov, DIY, Street Profits, Carmelo Hayes, Dominic Mysterio, Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre, all being brought down to the ring by Alicia Taylor, commentated by Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. Now, yes, we get to make our shows now, but to give everybody a little bit of time, I just brought up the fact that Drew McIntyre signed an extension with the WWE. Fightful's reportedly claiming that there are more to come. So before we choose our card, to give everybody a card, Karl, I'll start with you. What do you think of this extension, and how do you see this kind of take shape for the future? If there's more to come, who not only do you think they are, but also what are your hopes now, knowing that Drew is at least staying with WWE?
See, the way that I'm seeing this right now is that Drew McIntyre is one of the veterans that are in the business right now. And we do have a lot of younger talent that is coming up within developmental to NXT and then making the move over to main roster brands. I think what we're going to start seeing is more of these veteran stars re-signing contracts with maybe more limited dates to them to kind of be there as mentors for the next wave of amazing superstars that are going to be coming within the next 10 to 15 years.
Okay.
So I think we're going to see a lot more of the veteran stars signing those extensions. Maybe not necessarily a brand new contract, but maybe an extension just to be on for the mentorship type of thing.
Okay. Now, Chris Best, what are your thoughts about that? And are there people that you think now are in line, as we now know that Drew McIntyre is off the free agent list potentially more, or the potential free agent list for pro wrestling?
Yeah, I actually agree with Karl because here's a guy in Drew McIntyre who's been involved with the WWE off and on since 2009, 2010-ish, give or take. He carries with him a plethora. There's that word again, a plethora of in-ring knowledge with him. So yeah, he would be an asset for sure down in NXT or over in NXT to help out some of the younger talent, especially some of the guys in the level up. He's also just a good strong hand to have like in your main event scene.
Yeah, for sure. Who do you think is the next domino that's going to fall? And I'll open this up to anyone because personally, I do think Seth Rollins is going to be the next domino. Although I do think Becky Lynch is almost set in stone. But who do you guys think is that next person to sign an extension in WWE?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's Becky Lynch is already. I mean, when she won the women's title on Monday night, I'm like, okay, it's set in stone that she's staying. She's signing an extension. I'm just trying to think like whose contracts are up. I mean, we had Finn Balor, but he did sign his extension.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, right now, Seth Rollins is the outlier right now. He still hasn't signed his extension, but I do fully expect that he's going to sign.
Okay. Karl, your prediction on the next?
Shar. I think we're going to see Charlotte signing an extension. I think that's going to be a constant no matter what. I don't think that Charlotte is ever going to be in a position where she is leaving the WWE. She's going to be there in some capacity, way, shape, or form for the rest of her career or life. I guess you could even put it. On the men's side of things, I'm really not sure. I think we may see somebody like a Shinsuke Nakamura possibly sign an extension. It seems as though, although he might not be used as readily as people would like, or as well as people would hope for, I think he's happy. And I think happiness is a huge thing when it comes to your line of work. And somebody like Shinsuke Nakamura being happy is better than going back to Japan or anywhere else.
Okay.
But that's just me.
Right.
I think you might be onto something there, Karl, because Nakamura, just every time I watch him do an interview, like out of ring, he still feels just as ecstatic as he was when he came to the WWE back in 2016, I think it was.
Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah.
All right. And yes, we've completed the first ever Chris Perish podcast draft. So I want to take the time to thank both you, Karl, and yourself, Chris Bass, for joining me on the inaugural one. And it has a lot to do with the fact that it's draft season. The NFL had just completed their draft as of yesterday. If people were wondering, yes, the Saints drafted a man named Kool-Aid. Oh, yeah. But the WWE draft also took place starting on SmackDown. And as we saw, 16 people selected on the show, 7 more people in like after the show. So a total of 23 people. Is there anybody that like just really jumped out, or is there one that jumped out to you? Because a lot of people didn't really change brands. We didn't see a lot. What we did see was confirmation that Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker are Raw and SmackDown bound. We did see the breakup of the Wolf Dogs with Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker, but we didn't see a lot of movement. Now, there were some with Andrade moving to SmackDown. There were some just with a few others, but not a lot. Do we expect more of that to be tomorrow on Monday Night Raw, or do we expect more of the same? Best, I'll start with you on this one.
I'm sort of expecting something big and something explosive to happen, but I just can't put my finger on it. I mean, I at first thought it was going to be Roman Reigns moving to Raw, but I guess he protected himself from moving to Raw or something like that, I heard. I'm expecting several moves, but maybe not as much as the big names that we've seen. Like I feel like Seth Rollins is going to stay with Raw. Damian Priest is obviously staying with Raw because he's the world heavyweight champion.
Yeah. As you kind of said, like the champions are protected, which I think that's a smart move for them, especially when you're creating the new championships. You have the Raw titles becoming the world titles with the red in them. They would look weird on SmackDown, and you're just now you got the continuity on Raw with your champions and the titles themselves. They all look very much similar, so it's nice to have that continuity with your titles on Raw. And now on SmackDown, you kind of have the same thing, whereas your women's championship held by Bayley, and then the WWE championship held by Cody Rhodes. You know, they're similar in look, so you want to keep that together. So I completely understand that. And then now you have the United States Championship staying there as well. That was the only title I was hoping that was going to be moved, was the U.S. title and Intercontinental. But also, Logan Paul said he flat out asked Triple H when he had him on Impulsive, I want to go to Raw. So it is very intriguing. Now, the one thing we do know, and Carl, before I get to you about Monday, we do know that this draft takes in effect the Monday after Backlash, so on May 6th. So if there's any championship matches at Backlash, those champions might not stay on their show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But now, yeah, Carl, your thoughts on what to expect tomorrow on the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Turnbuckle Studios, both on the Twitch and the YouTube side. Go like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit that notification bell because, boom, just like a good match, you want to hear that bell ring.
Ding, ding, ding. I think we're going to see a lot coming out of Monday Night Raw. So, yeah, make sure that you're joining us for the Raw Patrol because there's going to be excitement. On SmackDown, it didn't really seem or feel very exciting. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. There was a lot that they could have done, but everything just really seemed to fall flat. And a lot of people that I've talked to as well kind of felt the same way, that things just fell flat. It was a little boring. So they're really hoping, just as I am, that things are going to pick up on Monday. We do have more picks that are happening on Monday as opposed to there was on Friday with SmackDown because, well, you have an extra hour to do more picks in. So something is going to happen. Like Chris said, something is going to, like Chris Best said, something is going to happen. Something big is going to happen. What that is, I just can't put my finger on it right now. But you're going to have to wait and see. Something is, I can feel it. I can feel it brewing, and it's not just a toot. I'm telling you, there is something big going to happen.
One of those things that I think could happen on Raw, based off the video that was played off the QR code on SmackDown, I think we get Uncle Howdy.
Which I'm gonna say, I'm surprised nobody selected him at all in this draft. Actually, nobody even selected Sheamus because, well, all he does is bangers after bangers after bangers.
See, I didn't know we could pick Uncle Howdy because I wasn't classifying him as employed by WWE yet.
Well, he is under contract.
It's true.
All contractual active wrestlers were eligible, meaning The Rock was not one, because he's not on. Now,
but okay, so I know the drafts are all done and everything's all picked. So yeah. Uncle Howdy is not listed under the active roster right now.
Not off the website, but also the website is just one source to go off of. Mm-hmm. That we also know that the kayfabe part of the business, plays a part in the website as well. We know that through the contractual situations, just from his time with Bray Wyatt was still with us, that Uncle Howdy was performing as an in-ring competitor.
Yeah.
And that contract is still active. It has been reported by many sources that he is still active in the WWE. This is Taylor Rotunda, better known as Bo Dallas, now later known as Uncle Howdy. So he is contracted there. Obviously, there's no announcement to what he's doing next. So that's something to kind of look. It's just, this was more to not use people like The Rock or The Undertaker or some of these legends that we're doing. Now, if this was maybe a month ago and The Rock was active, I think I would have allowed him to be selected.
Understandable.
But he flat out himself said he is taking the step back and not being active, so that null and void.
Right.
Yeah. I do have my match card selected. I'm not sure what about you two, if you have. But if you need a little bit of a couple extra minutes to kind of just finalize that, we're going to see a little bit of a video. Sorry, go right ahead.
So how many matches are we to choose? Again, I can't remember.
Whatever you want. It's your show. I don't control your show. You control your show.
Okay.
You just got to make sure everyone's used. And understand that the team that you selected for your women's tag team is already in a match. And that match, if you're watching, you can select the winner of this match. And please, you can select the Kabuki Warriors, but we implore you to select one of our selections. Whereas the Kabuki Warriors will defend their WWE Women's Tag Team Championships against Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae, Zoe Stark, and Shayna Baszler. One of those four teams will walk out with gold around their waist. Chris Best, as you finalize your show, I'm just going to give a shout out through video form to the sponsors Rogue Energy, where now you can buy strawberry banana in a tub version. But make sure you save some money by using that promo code right above the head of Chris Best. That thinking head of Chris Best as he's putting the final touches on that match card there. Use that promo code Perish, save yourself 10%. Because why? Why not save some money? Because if you save some money, you can go straight to Karl Karufel's Redbubble. Think about that. Money saved is money earned, but money spent is a happy customer. Make sure you're doing that. Here's the video. Oh, yeah. Once again, that's rogueenergy.com. Use the promo code PERISH, PERISH, to save yourself 10%. I'd appreciate that because I do like to make some money off doing this. It'd be nice, but I also appreciate you just getting some beautiful flavors of Rogue Energy as well. Give them a try. You will not be disappointed. And if you are, thank you for using my promo code. And I'm sorry, but yeah. Chris Best, are you finalizing your match card now?
I'm working on it still.
Okay, Karl Karufel, we're going to start with you with Monday Night Raw. And now the fans are voting on the women's match as a separate individual thing, so we do not need to include this match in our card. So what is your match card? And to add a little bit of fun to this, it's on the spot. You can create up a name for your event if you want. You can create your own pay-per-view, or you can select one of your choosing, or it could just be Monday Night Raw. It's 3 hours, just the same length of the PLE anyway. So,
right?
It's up to you.
So we're just for time's sake, we're just gonna go Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
Because if I had known, I would have created a whole pay-per-view name and everything, and our PLE Premier Live Events. We're just gonna go with this as being Monday Night Raw. We're gonna start out Monday Night Raw, hot and heavy, with a U.S. title match. That's right, our champion Logan Paul is going to be taking on the up-and-coming Joe Gacy. And I assume you're writing this down, Perish. Is that correct?
Yeah. I'm not very...
Okay. I'll make sure I don't go too quickly then.
Oh, that's okay.
In a matchup that many people have wanted to see, almost dream matchup, we're going to put that on Monday Night Raw in a singles match where we are going to have Karrion Kross taking on Randy Orton.
All right. What else you got?
We have got a couple of number one contender matches happening on this show as well, because, well, we're starting things out, right? So we got to make sure that we have got everything set for the shows in the future. The first number one contenders match is going to be a three-way for the women's number one contendership, where we are going to be having Liv Morgan take on Ivy Nile, taking on Valhalla.
All right.
Next matchup we're going to have is a tag team. You know what? No. We're going to scrap that one. We're not going to put that one as the next match. We're going to do our next number one contenders matchup. We're going to do contender match for the NXT title. Kevin Owens taking on Jimmy Uso.
Okay.
Match number 5. We're going to have a tag team three-way matchup. We're going to have the champions, Awesome Truth, taking on The New Day and taking on Akam and Razar with Paul Ellering ringside.
Mm-hmm. And Big E, I'm assuming too, right?
And Big E would be. Yep.
Yeah. And little Jimmy, for everyone, will probably be in the set. It's Awesome Truth.
Of course, I would hope so.
Yeah. So
I would hope so. We got to make sure that we get. We got to make sure that we get our other title matches in here as well. We're going to have co-main event, the women's title match, Bayley, our champion, taking on Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, by process of elimination, I was going through your roster. I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing.
And for our main event, the NXT title matchup will be Trick Williams, our champion, taking on the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Oh, I like that match.
I just like it how I have Styles versus or Trick versus Styles, and I was like, your style gets a little tricky over on Monday nights. Now I believe that is 19, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yes, because your women tag team is already in. So that is your show there. What is
I wrote it
the
out.
NXT? Yeah. Just confirm. Gotta confirm things here. What is on the docket for NXT? Or are you still finalizing that out, Chris Best?
Okay. I heard
You're
it on
good,
my
Chris.
TV, so I know you guys picked me next. I am good.
Okay.
So let's see. What do I got for my opening match here?
If you need
So
a
my
little bit
opening
more
match,
time.
I figured I want to start it off with a banger.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured I want to start off my opening match with a bit of a banger. Triple threat match for the number one contendership for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and LA Knight.
Okay.
I had to pair these guys off as a tag team in my next match because I ran out of wrestlers, but I went with Otis and Braun Breaker taking on Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga in just a throwaway tag team match.
See, that is the hard part about the draft, because you could select all these guys and you're like, ooh, I got him. And then when you're putting this match card together, it's a little bit difficult.
Yep. I made a number one contenders match for the women's title as well, and I went with Io Sky and Nia Jax on that one.
Okay, sorry. Was there what was this number one contender you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
In my championship matches, for my WWE North American Championship, because I already said I wanted to see this match, I went with Obafemi defending against Braun Strowman.
All right.
For the tag team championship, A-Town Down Under will be defending their tag team championships against the Creed brothers.
Okay.
For my WWE Women's Championship, this is the one I went back and forth on because I'm like, do I want to see Becky and Nia or do I want to see Becky and Io? Then I'm like, I saw Lyra on my list. I'm like, I want Becky and Lyra.
All right. You want the rematch from when Lyra Valkyrie beat Becky Lynch for that NXT championship.
And that was just a fantastic match, and I want to see it again. So,
all right.
And for my
is Damian Priest defending his championship against?
He is defending against CM Punk.
All right.
And I'm pretty sure that's all of my wrestlers. I'm looking to see if I'm missing anybody.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That is all.
Yeah.
And that is NXT. Now, for my opening show, our opening match on SmackDown. Well, first, we're just being brought to you in a very comedical way by Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. And then Alicia Taylor is taking the stage, and she is choosing our opening match for the number 1 contendership for the Intercontinental Championship. We got main event Jey Uso going up against Drew McIntyre.
Big.
Yeah. Also, I just want to point out that Bronson Reed was not selected in this draft. Shame on us.
See, I almost went with him after I picked Braun Breaker and Braun Strowman. I was going to go with the third Braun.
Braun versus Braun versus Braun. That could have been a sign of all Braun, no brain, but we'll never know. Sorry. It was too easy to not say. Just too easy to not say. Okay. And now for the second match, we have a 4-way ladder match for the Tag Team Championships of NXT. Sorry, triple threat not a 4-way. So my bad. A little bit of TLC going on here. We got Axiom and Frazier defending those titles against the good old form once known as Regeneration X, but really known as DIY versus the Street Profits. So we get a car crash in the form of Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso, and I'm continuing that car crash with bodies everywhere. Because bodies, you know, the theme song of SmackDown. So, okay, what do I have next? I believe. Oh, yes. The number 1 contendership to the World Heavyweight Championship. I have Roman Reigns going on one-on-one in a first time ever match with Ilya Dragunov.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah. We are hitting people hard. And then we're going straight back to the women's in an elimination triple threat match just to be a little different. We have Roxanne Perez defending her title against Rhea. Goes on against Bianca. Pretty easy when I only have 3 women to choose what I'm doing. I'm just gonna.
right.
But I mean, that's a women's division I can build around for the future with. So,
Of course. Of course.
and then I'm looking for a. I wasn't sure if I wanted a nice little gimmicked match here or just straight up one fall to the finish for the IC. Sami Zayn defends that title against Chad Gable, against Carmelo Hayes, and against Dominic Mysterio.
Wow.
Adding a little curveball with Dom.
Wow.
Yeah. And then for my World Heavyweight title match, which is going to be an Iron Man match, a 60-minute Iron Man. We got Cody Rhodes going one-on-one against the Ring General Gunther.
I mean,
Take
talk about
my money.
a friggin' wrestling clinic right there.
USA Network's very happy about that, about this match. So yeah, we will be posting that online for people to vote on. I'll be throwing it in the Spotify and in the comments for that as well. But yeah, that has been the draft. So just to kind of reiterate for Raw, Logan Paul versus Joe Gacy for that United States title. We got Karrion Kross versus Randy Orton with Scarlett in his corner. For the number 1 contender for the women's title, you got Liv Morgan versus Ivy Nile versus Valhalla. And for your And then you have Jimmy Uso versus Kevin Owens. I believe that was a number 1 contender match as well for the World Championship or for the NXT title.
Yes.
All right. And then for your tag team title, you have AOP versus The New Day versus Austin Truth, Big E, Little Jimmy, and Mr. Ellering are in the corners of their respectful teams. For the women's title, you got Bayley defending against Alexa Bliss. And for the main event NXT Championship, you got the phenomenal AJ Styles trying to whoop that Trick as he tries to dethrone Trick Williams for that NXT title. Speaking of NXT, we got Finn Balor versus LA Knight versus Seth Rollins to kick things off in a number 1 contender match for that World Heavyweight title. You have Otis and Braun Breaker trying to drain the valves of the bloodline as they take on Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa. Yeah, how about that? Yeah, that was pretty good, huh? And then for the women's division, you got Io Sky versus Nia Jax, number 1 contendership match only to see real big men slap and meet here with Braun Strowman versus Oba Femi, a clash that only North America can handle because it is for the North American Championship. And then we have the Creeds challenging A-Town Down Under for that tag team championship, the WWE Tag Team Championship, and then for the World Heavyweight Championship on the women's side, Becky Lynch goes on against Fire Valkyria, whereas Damian Priest wants to slash the Cult of Personality in half as they set to take place in the main event for the World Heavyweight title. Why? For SmackDown, Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre, number 1 for the IC title. Axiom versus Frazier defend their tag team titles in a TLC match against DIY and the Street Profits. Roman Reigns and Ilya Dragunov decide who is number 1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, whereas Roxanne Perez has a task in front of her as she stares into the future of the right now in the women's division as she defends against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Sami Zayn then has a mountain to climb as he defends against not only Chad Gable, not only Carmelo Hayes, but also Dominic Mysterio for that Intercontinental title, where Cody and Gunther battle it out for the World Heavyweight Championship in an Iron Man match. And those are the shows that you, our audience, can vote for who has the better show. And don't forget, you're also voting on the match between the Warriors versus Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell versus Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler versus Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Guys, once again, I want to thank you for participating in the first ever Chris Perish podcast draft. Chris, best start with you. When you're not stretching out your legs, where can the people find you?
All right. The people can find me at youtube.com at I can't even remember my socials. YouTube.com at CBRS Entertainment, Twitch.tv CBRS_entertainment, Threads.net at CBS Films 83, Facebook.com Chris.best83, and TikTok.com CBRS.entertainment.
All right. Karl, I know that you like to keep things a little simple.
Yeah, because just like Chris
shout out?
Best, I can't remember all of that.
All right. But what you can remember is what?
Oh, easily I can remember my link tree, just like everyone else. linktr.ee/Karl Karufel. That is linktr.ee/KarlKarufel.
Awesome. I also wanted to showcase, as we talked about earlier there, we do have your Redbubble as
Yes, Redbubble is available for those that want to pick up some Turnbuckle Studios merchandise, a collection of merchandise from each of the shows that we have, with things going to be leaving the shop soon and new things being added. But make sure that you're going to check it out anyways. Remember, every little bit that you do you get yourself some great merchandise, and it does give us a little bit of a kickback that does go back into all of the programming that you see from Turnbuckle Studios. And you can find that at karlkarufel.redbubble.com.
And we seem to have Perish.
We did. For right now, we definitely did. It looks as though Mr. Chris Perish probably is having a few little technical difficulties, but he did talk about his rogue energy, which is absolutely fantastic. And as we wait for him to come back in, let's at least scroll his socials down below for everyone as well. And he has returned.
Yeah, I do not understand what is going on right now, but yeah, it is fun. People, you know where to find me. My socials are in the description. You can also find me everywhere. Also, make sure you check out my Discord. I'd appreciate that. Let's try to get a Discord going. Let's try to have a nice, healthy, interactive Discord. So please, let's have fun. But I also just want to make sure that you can check me out every Sunday here at 12:15 on the Facebook, on the YouTube, on the Twitch side of things. When we return, we will declare the winners of the draft and who won in that women's tag team match. And also, might have a little bit of a guest coming for that. So make sure that you're checking it out. Want to say thank you again, Chris Best, Karl. Appreciate you. Everyone, have a great rest of your Sunday. And go Saints.